Hey people, this is this side. So welcome to my YouTube channel. Small, small introduction with me. So I've been into abstract since last 6 years, 6 plus years maybe. Yeah. On this channel, we'll be more focused on sharing tips and contents circled around security, looking at security configurations, looking at the DevSecOps thing, threat modeling, and most of that will be coming along. I'll be solving CTFs on HTTP or try hacking as well. So yeah. So for today let's start with some basic topics. How to set up a Docker and how to make your first Docker image. Quickly, let's get onto the screen and start. Hey people, welcome back. So let's get started with the today's topic, that is what is a Docker, and then probably we'll find out key differences between the virtual machines and Docker. While today we use Dockers, and then we'll move ahead with creating a Python app, and then let's Dockerize it. So that's how we will be able to build our first Docker image. So as you can see on my screen, we already have an image that is quite uh, self-explanation self-explanatory on its own. So on the left hand side, we have this, the architecture for container, container thing, and similarly, we have it for virtual machines. So the key difference between container and virtual machines that we see here is we don't have a guest OS. So yeah, a container is actually built upon, upon the principles where we don't actually use an OS, but we are more, using the binaries or libraries that software and application is actually requiring to get it started. So that's the major difference. So you save tons of money and the resources which actually require to keep your application running on an VM. So let's start by building a Python application. Maybe we'll be using Flask as the backend thing, and similarly, moving forward, we'll move on to Dockerize it. So yeah, let's start. So as you can see, I've already in my environment. I'm using a Mac system. This is Python. Yeah, let's make our first app. We have file. I'm sorry. We have our file. Okay. Let's try import all the libraries. Let's initiate it. Mm, It's defined right. So this will be our entry point. Let's keep it as slash as of now. I'm not defining any methods, so by default it will work for get. It's write a function. Hello. It will simply return. It's entry dot it's let's range. Let's run our app. By default, if you run it, it'll be using your localhost and 5000 port. But I have some issues. Already have a few things running on that code. So let's give some other code, maybe 3000. Let's run it. Now, this will be running in the debug mode as we have not set an option to debug false. So let's run this. The first thing, no elements. We also require uh, requirements for text file. So let's write it. Here it is. Without it flask. So if you require, you could also create a virtual environment for yourself. So I'm already using this. This I've created for some other method. Let's install the same audio. So you can write the command type install and with the requirements file. This is how you install it in your environment. You can give comments, sorry, you can give commands in the description to create a virtual environment. Command it is there. The indexing is happening. Once it's done, let's rerun it. It's running. This works. I like it. So now let's start to, you know, uh, Dockerize it. So for that, you can download this Docker thing from this docker.com as per your config. So I have it downloaded. Let me just turn my Docker. Let me check this time. Server while. Let me keep it running. And the file. So good. Okay, for this. So for this to run properly, we'll have to write a Docker file to build an image out of the thing which we wrote earlier. So let's start. Let's create a Docker file. So for that again, so this is the Docker file which we're going to create. You could also install an extension so that it will, show if you miss out something. So to run this specific app, now we don't need an OS or something like that. It's just a Python app that only has a requirement of Python. So let's use Python image. You could just search it on this dot this. Where you have all the images that we require. So let's search for a Python image. Here they have this Python and the link for downloads. We have tags in Docker so that we use a specific image as per our requirement. It could have this slim image, the alpine one, or whatever is required by your application to get started. So let's use this. Here is this entire Docker file of this slim image. It's 3.9 hyphen slim to use this. We earlier used Slim Duster. I'm not able to see it right now, but you could just get it directly. So let's write from Python. We already have this 3.9 hyphen Slim Buster. Now let's make a work directory. So where is our so this will be our the location where our files will be stored. Let's copy all the files to this. from this specific folder to the application that is flash which we made earlier. Now let's run a few commands that would be installing the requirements which we did earlier, as this image won't have any prerequisites or the binaries or libraries which we are using to make sure that the app is running. Let's install them. The same name which we gave it. Install text. We also have this no cache directory switch to install uh, non-cached versions of your packages. If you have any dependency, you can always use that. Let's set up some environment variables like class scope and give this is the actual syntax for this. And yeah, fine. So we'll cover more of this, environment variables and other commands which we are currently writing over here in the further videos which will be coming up. So I'll give an in-depth explanation on how you write, how you import your environment variables, and a more complex thing that we require in daily production environments. So yeah, so let's also give a entry point where the from where your container actually launches. So let's write that as well. So it's cmd, and then see the command which we always give, that is flask, to give an array of the commands with arguments separated. So let's give the host thing, which is again, and the port. So this will be a port inside the container, so we'll have to bind it with our local environment so that you could see that app running uh, on your local machine, right? So let me give this port again as something. Let's give it when it was 3,000. Let's give it again 4,000 and then we'll map it. So save the file. Let's build it. So I'll use docker build command with a tag name so that we have an image created on our on Docker base which we saw earlier. So let's give this a name class blah blah and dot, that indicates the Docker file is in the current directory. As you see, it will the context and get the actual things which we already mentioned. Yes, libraries. Maybe let's run it. So it will only first let's verify whether it's the image is built or not. Uh, yes. Let me open it up again. Yeah. So you can see in images we have this image created 1 second ago. It's size was 207 MB. And let's run if we don't provide any, it will give some random names like this nervous from something affectionate for let's run it. So we have to do port forwarding so that it will actually address your host machine and the Docker image. So it will create a bridge between them, and the communication will be built accordingly. So we'll go into again in more videos. We'll see how you actually build communications between two different Docker images along with the host where these people are, where this Docker are already uh, located. So the first port will be your the local machine port, and then the port which we wanted to bind. So let's give it 5,000 as of now again, or 4,000, whichever. We have actually already mentioned it. It's not, so let's do it. And let's connect. And this will be our name. Just missed that. It's already, let me change that to 4,000. Sniper gallery. Let's rebuild it again. The same name. It's actually a no cache directory will work, or it's not working. I guess fine. Yeah, now it's on. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, now this thing is running from there. Yeah, you can see, given this command, the application runs fine, and it's also printing the logs because the debug mode is, uh, off. And you can see this is customer. Yeah, so you see the app is currently working, the Docker image, Docker container to be specific. And you see this is the Docker IP, which is the actual IP of the Docker, and this is where we, forwarded it to our local machine. We could also have this with where, you could stop the logs from printing on your terminal. Yeah, this is the thing which, yes. So yeah. So this is how, yeah, you build your first Docker image, and then in the upcoming videos we'll start with, you know going more in depth with the Docker things, and then we'll see the difference in what the Docker is, or difference in what the Kubernetes is, and how you actually deploy and containerize applications in more details. Yeah, thanks for watching.